And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the One Piece podcast. I'm your host, the infamous Orion, and I'm a pirate.
I'm Cairo, and that's not the name of this podcast.
So let's talk about One Piece chapter 1044 and why it is the greatest piece of literature to spawn out of the 21st century. Now,
Oh God, how do I leave a Discord call?
now here's the thing. The fact that Oda can still pull a plot twist on this level over 1,000 chapters in that makes you realize he's been foreshadowing it since chapter 1 is fucking insane. I think he actually left a Discord call. Damn.
I have nothing to add to this discussion.
So, yeah. Uh, Worship the new sun god at your own time, everybody. Remember, rubber always bounce back. And this is going to be a very fun next few chapters. Um,
I can't wait for the Netflix show to come out so that all of the plucky One Piece fans can have something to be sad over like the rest of us.
I'm so scared of that show. No, I wanted to do good. I really do. But then it's like I realize they have a lot going against them. And yeah, it's an uphill battle, and I'm rooting for them. That's all I will say.
I do hope it goes well, but yeah, historically, these kinds of things just don't.
I mean, look what happened to Bebop.
You know,
R.A.P. Bebop. Um, Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Two Schmoes Show. Can you tell I've been hyped up by a certain manga lately? It's fucking amazing. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to quite say for this, ladies and gentlemen, other than big week this week, or at least I put a lot of fucking references in the thumbnail this week.
Mhm.
Um,
What
where do we
happened?
begin, Mr. Chiral?
Let's go with the title here. With
Okay.
good old Halo.
Yes.
I should get this out of the way because this isn't going to be like a big thing, but it's a disappointing thing. What are the actual ratings for it? I'm going to look this up real quick.
I think it was a 61%.
That's better than I would have expected.
So for
Rotten Tomatoes doesn't even have it on.
So for those of you not in the know, Paramount Plus has premiered its long-awaited, and I do mean long-awaited Halo TV show finally, and
Hmm.
it's apparently very contentious according to Mr. Chiral.
Yep. I'm curious. So, oh god, this is kind of telling. On their like big poster thing of like, here's the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the only two that they've really even done anything with in this first episode is, of course, Master Chief, and the other person's like in the back of the poster. That's not a good sign.
For those of you who are not in the know, Halo, the TV series, is based off, of course, the popular video game that every fucking 13-year-old in the year 2008, was it 2008 Halo 3 came out?
Something like that.
Yeah. Um, every 13-year-old, no, 2007, was playing for like the good mid 2000s because it was revolutionary. And
Hmm.
Spielberg's been trying to get this it turned into a movie, and then it became a show, and then Spielberg went off the project, and it's been in production hell for many a years. And
I'll give Rotten Tomatoes credit for this.
well,
Because we've only had the first episode out right now.
mm-hmm.
Episodes 2 through 9 all have the exact same description of Master Chief, a cybernetically enhanced super soldier, defends humanity from the alien covenant in the 26th century.
Sounds great.
Which is like, yeah, I guess that's technically accurate.
That's the plot. Congratulations,
Yep,
everybody. Go
they're
home.
doing a Halo.
That's Halo for you. Uh, I wanted this to be so good. Because I genuinely do like the lore of Halo and the series as a whole.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, here we are, just kind of sitting on our hands with a retelling of a Halo story that we don't even know quite how well it matches up to the actual timeline.
Yeah, we've gotten so like they had the first episode is an hour, and I guess presumably all of them will be an hour. I guess we don't really know that, but there's nothing to say it wouldn't be. And in that full hour, we don't really learn a whole lot. We know that there's apparently the planet that they were on is called Madrigal.
Okay.
There's some humans there that get murked by the Covenant that show up there,
Mm-hmm.
and the Spartans come in and kill all of the Covenant guys. But outside of they start to set up a dynamic between like how these people fighting from these humans that are fighting from independence from Earth are against the Spartans, and they paint them as kind of like these sort of boogeymen. Um, and then the Spartans come in and it's just like, yeah, they're just soldiers. I don't know. It just seems weird.
Yeah. For those of you not in the know, the basic plot of Halo is aliens have come to wreck humanity's shit as humanity is
Hmm.
trying to reach out into the stars. And while humans are having a civil war, aliens are wrecking shit. And now we have basically Iron Man suits coming to try equalizing everything.
Yep.
Shenanigans happen. Hilarity ensues. Do they ever really explain the basic premise of Halo, or do they expect you to come into the show knowing what's going on?
What part of it? I mean, like, they don't explain a ton. They explain what basically the Spartans are.
Okay.
That they're basically, cybernetically enhanced super soldiers, and they start to set up some of like the human political side of stuff, but they don't really get into like what the Covenant is or what the Covenant wants or anything even close to that.
So,
So, yeah,
as far
not
as
really.
anybody is concerned, the Covenant are just one giant collective, and they don't explain the politics of the Covenant because the Covenant have like politics to it.
Nope.
No.
No, they don't even. For the people who are the humans on Madrigal, they didn't even know what they are.
Wow. So you just see aliens, and then you're like, oh, Rudy Tooty point and shooty at them.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
They were just like, there's some ship that's over there, and they killed all of my friends, and then everybody else dies too.
I'm really
Yeah,
upset by that.
it's not a bunch to go on.
That's really upsetting to me because like it's not hard to set up Halo. It's
Uh-huh.
pretty basic stuff, and
It should be, yeah.
yeah, it is good guys here, bad guys there. Um, yeah. Oh well, didn't want a good Halo series anyway. I'm not upset.
I'll probably keep watching at least the next episode just because it is kind of, B sci-fi stuff that I enjoy,
It
but it's not good.
it's not good.
No, I would not recommend it to someone who's looking for something good to watch. Not from what I've seen so far.
Mm.
It's just kind of fine.
Which is better sci-fi to you, live action Bebop or Halo?
So far, live action Bebop, but
Damn.
I'm biased, so
Yeah. I don't know. It would be very hard, and it sounds like this is very Master Chief focused, which Master Chief is not exactly the most compelling character in the world.
right. A guy who is designed to not remember any personality traits.
Yeah, he's basically a walking, talking killing machine.
Yep.
That
I'll say they kind of made the Spartans in like the few scenes we saw them fighting in kind of too powerful. Like in the games, it makes sense because it's a video game
yeah,
and you want that, suspension of disbelief and the power fantasy stuff going on. But for a show, having literally all of the humans die and none of the Spartans even get a scratch and kill all of the Covenant in the process is kind of like way too one-sided.
so
It would have
there's
been good to see a bit of a give and take to it to show that like, yeah, they are massively improved over humans, but they're not immortal.
yeah, it's like a whole conceit of like one of the larger parts of the story is that the Spartan program is a failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it would have been so a large part of this episode takes place on Master Chief's ship
Hmm.
as they're traveling back to Reach.
Hmm.
And you could have had a really good and easy thing to set up because you have the humans on Madrigal who view the Spartans as like demons, literally otherworldly practically, because none of them have really ever seen them. They just
Hmm.
stuff that they hear about, and they know that the UNSC sends the Spartans out to deal with their problems, and they are one of the problems of the UNSC, so they're justifiably terrified of the prospect of just being all murdered at once.
Yeah.
And it would have been really good to have the survivor of that having, because they talk with Chief quite a lot. You know, if say Chief gets a nasty cut on his arm and, you know, some robot comes out and fixes it up for him, having that moment of like the person who doesn't understand these realizing these are still just people, as well as the chance to give Chief some chance to be like a real character and not just, you know, because that seems to be what they're trying to lean into. You know, if Chief just stays as Chief, there's no character there, and that makes it really hard to tell the story around.
Hmm.
You have to have those kinds of moments to make him seem more human than he is to develop a character where there isn't one. And
Yes.
they didn't really do that.
Which is shit.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
And what I find very upsetting about this is they don't have the other really good supporting characters from the Halo series there to support Chief. He's got like a supporting cast in the games that, fill out his lack of personality.
Mm-hmm.
His like whole buddy cop dynamic with another soldier is like a big part of like the humor of the series, and it's not there. Johnson is not there, and I'm very upset. I need Johnson in this show.
Mm-hmm.
But oh well. Oh well, I'm not upset. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Did they even explain like the different species of the Covenant or like anything like
No,
that? No?
we've only ever seen what would be like the elites in the game.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Not even grunts?
Not a one.
No. One second. I'm looking to see if they
I'll
got
say though,
anything.
I'm hoping from how they set up this first episode that,
Yeah.
that the Covenant is going to be less of a focus on this show.
Uh,
That they are kind of the looming threat,
hmm.
but not the immediate one.
I don't mind the Civil War plot line. It's very cool. But
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know. I need to see more of it. I guess I see like a screenshot that looks a little bit better, but it looks like very early CGI.
It
Is
is. It
is
absolutely is. It's disappointingly poor CG.
is this from the show?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not good, to be clear. But I really do think it's hard to tell what is and isn't CGI. A lot of it seems like mediocre costumes more than bad CGI at times.
Okay.
And if that's the case, I can appreciate what they're doing. You know, if they have actual Spartan suits, you know, having these guys in the actual armor is a lot easier when they're going to be in that armor for extended periods of time than to CG it on. You know, it's not like a Marvel movie where everybody's in spandex and you're not gonna, and you're, you know, it's not gonna clip through. If you're sitting in a small spaceship and you have bulky armor on, that armor has substance and takes up space.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see that being either way, but I don't actually know. Let me see if I can find it out. See if I Google it in like 5 seconds.
Waiting.
They're using custom made practical armor instead of CGI.
Okay.
So I can appreciate that a bit more, but it also goes to show why CGI has come into favor because it looks like they're wearing clunky armor that makes it hard for them to move. And you wouldn't necessarily want that if you're having these, you know, super soldiers.
Yeah.
They shouldn't look like they can't raise their arms over their shoulders.
Honestly, I would have mind if they like did kind of like what they do in Spider-Man, where they have like the
Mm-hmm.
CGI suit to represent the armor, and then they have like a kind of half real, half not real.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Some sort of hybrid, but for authenticity, I guess it works.
I do see it had a budget of 90 million.
Yeah. I
So
don't know what it went to.
yeah, I'm kind of curious. Like,
Yeah, so the suits must be pretty damn nice.
must be, you know, anything else?
Like there's not really any like big actors in it either.
That's what I noticed. I was going through the cast. And I'm kind of shocked they couldn't
Hmm.
attach anybody big to this.
Yeah. From the characters that we have seen, um, the main non-Spartan character doesn't even have a picture on Rotten Tomatoes. Put it that way.
Ouch.
But Master Chief is played by Pablo Schreiber, who does a good job, I would say, in presenting Master Chief for what he is.
Hmm.
But they do this thing with him where when he has the helmet on, where it's like modulated because like it would be,
Hmm.
but it sounds bad. You barely can understand him at times.
Really?
You'd think they would have gone in and like just toned it down some, but it sounds like maybe they like had these things like actually built into the suits and they just used that, which is just a mistake.
Yeah.
Using practical effects can be cool. Doing it at the detriment of being able to understand what your main character is saying is not cool.
I'm surprised they didn't just like record the lines ahead of time and do like a Venom scenario where they have like
Yeah,
the
that's what you'd expect. You can't see his fucking mouth.
yeah.
Yeah, because at the point where he takes the helmet off, you can understand him fine, and it totally works. And there are some good moments in it. That's the thing with so many of these projects is that they have their moments where you can kind of see what they're going for. And you want that same thing that they're kind of leading towards, but then they just never really get there.
Tragic.
The most compelling part of it that I saw is the prospect of the dynamic between um uh Kwan Ha, the human female character,
Uh,
who has this, generational hatred for the UNSC and the Spartans,
okay.
who's just had her entire family killed by this, Covenant force
Hmm.
outside of her control completely. And the dynamic between her and Master Chief, the literal demon, turning out to be not a demon, just a human.
Yeah.
There's something that they could do with that. But I don't know if they can because they haven't really shown that they're good enough to do that yet.
Again, it's hard to do a dynamic with Master Chief. It's like
Yeah,
because his whole shtick
it
is that
is.
you point me at what I want to kill, I'm going to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't have feelings. I am
Yeah.
literally just a vessel of military prowess.
Yep.
I don't know. It's very hard to do a character like him. It's like, because he doesn't have motivation per se. He just wants to do the mission and then go
Mm-hmm.
home and then go do the next mission. I don't know, man. It's hard. And if you go off into this place where you don't have the stuff that already works and you're trying to do stuff that does work, well, you should stick to the guns of what you know, you know?
Yep. Totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
I'll also add a big problem with it is that it's on Paramount Plus.
Yes.
If this was on Netflix or Apple TV Plus or literally anywhere else, I think a lot of people would be more forgiving of it because it's one of many different shows.
Mm-hmm.
Being on Paramount Plus, like I haven't really looked into the platform that much, but skimming it here, it is not especially compelling.
No, it's literally if you want MTV reruns, South Park,
Mhm.
or now the Halo show. It is literally their only show right now.
Yep. They have movies, apparently.
Yeah, old Viacom movies. All their good stuff is already out to other places at the moment.
The fuck? They remade Red Dawn?
Oof.
God. Apparently there's a bunch of Star Trek stuff too.
Oh no. Like I get it. Doesn't mean I want it.
It's awkward. It's
Yeah.
very awkward.
The only person in my life with access to Paramount Plus is my girlfriend, And it's only because her brother and his fiance have it, and they share it with her. Actually, does Paramount Plus have Clone High?
I can check real quick.
I'm checking right now. Yes, it has Paramount. It has Clone High, so it's automatically the best streaming service.
It's not showing up when I'm searching for it.
Oh shit.
But to be fair, their search isn't working at all. So like their search thing does not work right now on their website.
I admire.
Okay, so
I can't look something up.
I started playing. I got onto the website to take a look at the Clone High listing, and I started playing
Yeah.
Clone High clips. So -1
Nice.
automatically. Viacom, please don't copyright this. I worked very hard on this thumbnail. I do not want this taken away from me.
So they have Avatar apparently. Is that all of Avatar?
Yeah, but it's also on Netflix. So, like, what are you gonna do about that, bro? Like,
For sure. I'm just trying to find like any way to redeem this. You know.
I know it's
Like-
probably gonna go to Paramount Plus after their deal runs out. So that's probably why Netflix is working on that live action Avatar series.
Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna be great.
Yeah, dude. It's not like there's already proof that it's hard to adapt Avatar.
Oh hi. Damn, it does these auto. I hate how every streaming service it seems does this, where they do these like auto playing previews.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking awful.
It didn't become a problem for me until you told me it was like a problem for you, and then I realized, yeah, this kind of sucks.
Yeah. Like I don't want this. I know what I'm looked up. I clicked it already. Yeah, they have season 1. I don't know if there's more than that, but it has season 1
Of Atla?
listed of Clone High.
Oh, yeah, there's only one season of Clone High at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So it has season 1. I only saw first season of Avatar though. Check that real quick, actually, because that would suck. They don't have like
All 3 seasons.
actually all of it.
Yeah.
Oh no, there we go. It's just a bad website. It's just all there is to it. So they have. I'll send you a screenshot of this so you can see it. They have all of this space on this screen to use, rather than having like clickable season 1, season 2, season 3, or just having all of them show up at the same time when you click show more. There's a tiny little drop down that you have to pick that lets you switch between the different seasons.
You can't even see the drop down that well in the screenshot.
You can't.
No.
It's tiny.
Yeah. It's like a pixel, 2 pixels maybe.
Oh god. So I wonder if you have like a big show that has, say, 15 seasons,
Yeah.
how practical is that?
I think they really want you to just start a series and then binge it.
Probably.
Because I noticed
But-
a lot of things are built for binging nowadays.
Oh hell yeah, they got Action League. There we go. That's what everybody wanted.
Action League Now?
Yeah.
The original Robot Chicken.
No, they seem to have a fair amount of stuff, but it's padded out aggressively with documentary things.
Of course it is. Paramount Plus is your grandparents' streaming service.
Mm-hmm. Smithsonian Channel, VH1, CBS. A lot of stuff like that.
What else do we have to talk about today? What's Putin up to?
What else do we have? Yes. So, Putin has continued to do this like cancel culture thing where he's saying that Russia is being canceled.
What?
He's not being canceled. He's
Yeah.
being sanctioned. There's a big difference. But it's hilarious to see because he actually went on camera and made a direct comparison between himself and Russia and J.K. Rowling and their being canceled.
Yes, because that is completely how cancellation works.
Exactly. That's something an absolutely person of sound mind would do, you know?
I mean, when you're like J.K. Rowling and you've been really banished from the reaches of culture, where you're not having a movie that's coming out based off your work relatively soon here. You don't have like a streaming service that is vehemently advertising your work. That's canceled.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The other big piece of news that I was very happy to see was a remark from Biden at the end of a speech that he was giving, saying that Putin should not. What was it? What was it? Oh, come on. There's this one BBC article I have pulled up that should be better than it is, but I'm not surprised because it's clearly slanted, so I'm just going to ignore
Mm-hmm.
it. um, where Biden basically said that Putin should not be allowed to remain in power.
Okay.
And they've been spinning that a bit after. Um, Secretary of State Blinken said that they do not have any plans to bring about regime change in Russia, saying that Biden's remark was more to the end that Putin cannot be allowed to wage war in Ukraine, and
Okay.
that, any changes within the Russian government would have to come from their people. But, I agree. I don't disagree with the sentiment.
You mean this guy who's been very much abusing his power as of late, is
Hmm.
being held in a light that shows he's not exactly responsible with said power? Are you saying we can't be critical?
At the same time,
Yeah.
um, there is the ever-present looming threat of nuclear war that no one presumably wants, but a lot of people seem to be inadvertently edging towards. Was reading about a protest in Poland asking for the US to establish a no-fly zone in Ukraine.
Oh no.
And it's just like, we've been through this. You can't unless you want to, one, set up military defenses to stop Russian planes from flying in Ukraine, and then also destroy counteroffensives that would stop your planes from also flying in that region. If you're going to set up a region of air superiority, you can't do it by just waving a magic wand.
Yes, you can. What are you talking about, dude? All you literally have to do is put a stop sign right in front of like the no-fly zone, and people know not to touch it.
I'm sure that would work.
That's how law-abiding citizens work. I'm not going to
So
live
the other
past
part of
50. Yo.
it, Russian general something something was killed, which marks the fourth, one, two, three, four, five, sixth. Oh wow, sixth uh, senior Russian commander to be killed in Ukraine.
I believe the word you're looking for is promoted, comrade.
So yeah,
Yeah. Congrats, Russia.
hmm
When does this stop becoming profitable? I want to know.
yeah, it's not profitable already. They don't care.
No, I think this is too much of a stubborn thing at this point.
Where's the other one? One of the other things that I was seeing was that Russian troops were leaving. Right now, there's been a bit of a shift from being kind of neutral to Russia now being pushed back, which is nice to see. One of the things I was reading about, though, was in a particular Ukrainian town where Russian soldiers were leaving, there was protests being carried out by the Ukrainians living there, and the Russian soldiers were like throwing tear gas and shooting into the air to try to get them to disperse. And I'm not sure if I can find it. I can't find it now, but more people showed up basically. And it was really amusing to see because it's just like, no, go away, and then just more people and more people were showing up.
I'm very proud of that. That's funny.
Mm-hmm. It was good.
So, is that everything we have with Russia for this week's
That's
Russia
the big
segment?
stuff.
Yeah.
Some potentially divisive comments from Biden, and Ukraine seems to be getting a bit of an upper hand.
I mean, good on them. I'm rooting for them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, here's something we didn't talk about in the show planning portion, but I thought we'd
Ooh.
point out. Um, the Barry Cogan Joker scene that was released.
Yes, yeah.
That is a very nice looking Joker. 10 out of 10. He's a very handsome boy.
It is interesting. I don't know. Handsome wouldn't be the word I would go for. It's
What are you talking about, man?
accurate.
um so Warner Brothers has released a scene with Barry Cogan as the Joker, fully, well, not actually fully seen, but is a much better look at the actor and his portrayal, and I am all for it. It looks like Heath Ledger's Joker got ran over with a lawnmower.
It does. It's
Uh,
very accurate putting it.
Thank you. My girlfriend's. I tested that one on my girlfriend, and she's like, "I don't want to see this thing, whatever you're describing to me, because it sounds grotesque." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is." Um, it is basically a one-on-one scene between Robert Pattinson's Batman and Barry Keoghan's Joker, in which they just talk about the case of the movie, and he looks like straight out of a horror movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep. I will say,
Yo,
I can appreciate why they cut it
yeah,
because it adds absolutely nothing to the story.
it is
It's
lit.
just
Yeah,
look at the Joker, and that's basically it.
it's just a small world building scene. And you know what? I kind of prefer the mystery of how he looks. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I like how we don't get a good look at him. We get like a little bit of a close up at the end. And you can kind of piece together how he looks, but
Yep. You get just enough to be like, yeah, that is Joker.
mm-hmm. Although it does make his ending scene make a lot more sense. I'm not against it, but like it also kind of gives up a lot of the mystery of who is Riddler as well, because Joker just calls it.
Yep.
Given this one scene, how do you rank him in your Joker's list?
My Joker's list is pretty short, so I would say below Heath Ledger.
What about Joaquin?
Okay, that's a fair point. Yeah, I don't really know. You'd have to definitely see more to make that comparison, but I mean, yeah, it would be like at the bottom by default, just because we've seen so little.
Yeah. He's above Jared Leto.
Yes, that is true.
Yes. I need more time with him before I put him anywhere against Joaquin. Um, so I like to equate all the Jokers to like a different kind of like title to them because they're all very different renditions. Um, Heath Ledger being the clown prince of crime, a pun on crown prince of crime. Uh, Joaquin being very much a sad clown. Leto being a meth head, and Nicholson being more of like a very eccentric gangster. This, I think, is like very much a serial killer kind of Joker. I get more Hannibal Lecter vibes from him than anything else. Would you call that accurate?
Yep.
And I like the concept. I need to see more from him. And, if we get like a multiple parter Joker where he gets more time to develop than say the other Jokers, pretty cool. Overall, I'm greatly awaiting more from this Batman franchise because this is very cool shit going on right now. I think I'm more excited for like more Batman stuff at the moment than MCU stuff, as long as it keeps going this track. What about you, Eric Hyrule?
I agree.
Okay.
It's definitely on the right track, and the it makes sense for
Mm-hmm.
what we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
Showing Joker because for as good as Heath Ledger's Joker is, he's kind of a blank slate. It's more like an archetype than an
Yeah.
actual character. It
Yes.
represents something more than is something. And this Joker is clearly a character
Mm-hmm.
where um they are leaning into the fact that he is like because like Joker is a doctor, right? In the canon. He worked like at Arkham or
No,
something
it's
like
Harley
that.
Quinn.
Or is it Harley? What was Joker's backstory
So here's
before he
the
was Joker? Or does it vary, I guess?
okay. So it depends on the continuity. They've told Joker's backstory several times, and he says all of
Hmm.
them are canon because he doesn't remember the quite right one.
Okay.
The common nomenclature is if I have a backstory, I want it to be multiple choice.
Sure.
That's Joker's actual phrase. The common element is he's a failed comedian, who got mixed up with the wrong people. Um, Keep in mind again, most of this is not confirmed, but it's like the common stuff. Failed comedian got mixed up with the wrong gangsters. His wife and child died because of gangster influence. So he kind of went into the gang world with nothing left to lose. And then one day, Batman comes in, busts his gang, and he gets thrown into a bale of chemicals. And he kind of goes crazy from all the loss he endured, and just comes out the Joker.
Okay. I got the feeling from this that they were putting Joker into more like what Harley Quinn's role was, where he clearly seemed to have some background in like psychology or some aspect of it
Mm-hmm.
beyond just surface level.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't really make sense for Batman to just be like, "Hey, Jokes, you know this guy?"
Oh yes, I know this guy. I know him very good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because then he goes into like actually trying to sort of like profile him.
Yeah, like a psychological profile.
Yeah.
Very astute observation there, my friend.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I welcome our new Joker Overlord. Now give me like a Joker versus Joker movie, like Alien versus Predator, but like Leto versus not Leto. Let's do it. Leto, Phoenix, and Barry Keogh, and we'll see. Did I pronounce his name right? You know what I'm talking about. Our new Joker. All three of those
Yeah.
Jokers, kind of like Gotham. No rules, no prep. One winner comes out. I'd watch that movie. What you doing there, friend?
If we're good, I'm getting over to some Alex Jones stuff.
Yes, please,
This is
because
hilarious.
yeah, if we're going to talk about crime and hilariousness,
Hmm.
let's talk about our good friend Alex Jones.
Yeah. So the Sandy Hook lawsuits are continuing to move on.
Mm-hmm.
The last big piece of news we had was that the judge issued a summary judgment in favor of the families suing Jones,
Mm-hmm.
basically saying that because he failed to show up at all, they agreed to find him at fault by default.
So no trial, just kind of like skip.
Yep. No
Save.
trial, straight to sentencing, and right now they're in the process of determining damages. And twice over the last couple of days, Jones has been a no-show at his court hearings. And we got a great bit here from the court transcript from the judge. So I'm just going to read this. I have faith, Attorney Smith, that you can contact whoever you need to contact, whether that's Attorney Pattis or whoever else from the defendants has knowledge. It shouldn't even take you 5 minutes to find out whether that broadcast was from his home or his studio, because what's being presented to the court is argument that he is remaining home and needs to remain home and he can't leave his home. And God help everyone if the fact that broadcast was from his studio in light of these arguments. It is full fuck around and find out. Because the whole point of Jones not being there was that allegedly, according to his doctor, he was not well enough to leave his home. And then during the hearing, he was on his show, which is presumably recorded at his studio,
Yes.
which is not at his home.
Was this live as well?
I believe so, yes.
Why couldn't that judge just throw like a nice I don't know, poggers in the chat at like this idea? Because this would have been
Mm-hmm.
hilarious to see like the judge make an account to just chat in there. Yeah. God have mercy on Jones for doing that, pulling that kind of shit.
So we'll see what happens. The second piece that was coming out was that the families are seeking for Jones to be arrested in
Mm,
light of it for, like contempt of court,
yeah.
basically, which
Yeah.
makes sense.
Hmm.
I don't think that would be at all unreasonable. And if Jones was any other person, there would probably already be a warrant out for his arrest.
Yes.
But it's been good. The judge involved with this has been not playing favorites at all so far and has issued sanctions against Jones and his lawyers for their failure to comply. Issued the summary judgment, of course, which is the big thing that Jones has been whining about, of course, ever since, even though, you had your chance to argue it and you decided to not show up. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, this is the day that we're going to decide who is right and wrong. This is when you can make your arguments. They didn't show up. So,
By
yeah.
showing up, that is kind of a small admission of guilt because you're saying you can't argue.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Generally, these are like small things that summary judgment gets issued for. Like somebody sues someone over $1,000, small claims court style, and one of the parties doesn't show up because
Hmm.
someone's being petty. Okay, we go for the person who we rule in favor of the person who decided to be here. But this is big. This is like enough that it could ruin. Hopefully, it will ruin Alex Jones. Wouldn't that be great to see?
I mean, cut off one head, another one's going to show up. So it's just going to take some
I don't
time.
know.
Think about
That is definitely true, but these cults of personalities are very particular. And even if a new one does pop up, there's no guarantee that that new one will be as effective as Jones is. I think that's one of the things that we're seeing right here with like the Trump stuff. If Trump doesn't get or is for whatever reason unable to run in 2024,
hmm
someone else will of course run for the Republican Party and they'll put their eggs all in one basket like they always do. But there's no guarantee that that person will hold on to the same cult of personality that Trump did and be able to pull in the numbers that he did.
So what you're saying is I need to run for office.
Yes, exactly.
I could have a
Oh no,
pretty
because
good.
even if Trump is in jail, he is such a narcissistic individual that if it's not him, it is no one.
Yeah.
And even if he's in jail, he will be speaking out against whoever is running just because they aren't him.
Yeah. You're right.
I think we'll have a similar thing here with Alex Jones, where if it's not him, he'll be speaking out against them out of just pure pettiness.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I could rock my own cult of personality. You know what
Oh
we would
yeah,
do? Yeah, that dude.
what's that?
Okay. Charity service. Because screw buying overpriced supplements. Let's just go do charity and work out while doing charity. Like some hard labor, building houses and whatnot. That's why I should be your cult of personality. Gonna be doing some based shit. Speaking of cult of personalities, I've been like super into I'm not okay. I'm going to word this very carefully because this is going to sound terrible no matter how I point it out. I've been getting interesting in faith healing, not in like a genuine interest, but like a far like fascination with like the cult of personality around faith healers. It is absolutely interesting to me to see like the psychological effects that go on during these kind of rallies. Have you ever seen this kind of stuff?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude. Is like I watch Bo Rat a while back, and there's like a scene where they go to like one of these mega church faith healing things, and I don't know. It just brought back all these weird memories because I remember my step grandmother being super into like these kind of cult personality miracle preacher guys, and I was like, wow, how does this even get started? I'm very curious in how that gets started. I want to be the guy to have like my own faith healing place, not to scam people, but like just I don't know. It's so cool to me to see like the psychological like manipulation there. Terrible, I know, but again, it's a distant
Mm.
fascination, and I do not want to do it. Taylor Hawkins of the Foo Fighters has passed away as well.
Yeah, very tragic.
Yeah, a very gifted drummer, absolutely top of his game. You know, if you have to have a drummer to like support Dave Grohl of all people, yeah,
Right.
it's got to be Taylor Hawkins.
He is the drummer for the guy who was the drummer.
Yeah, he's a drummer's drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely sad and tragic.
Cause of death still remains unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Investigators revealed today that there were traces of 10 different substances in his body, including opioids and marijuana, as well as other drugs. Whether those are the actual cause, though, is not at all conclusive.
Of
And
course.
wouldn't be surprising if he was on, just antidepressants in general, anyways. A lot of people are.
Yeah.
No, sometimes that's how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he was in Colombia at the time. I did not realize.
He was supposed to play that night too, which is kind of
Oh,
crazy.
really?
Yeah.
Man.
Could you imagine getting so excited for your Foo Fighters concert only to find out the drummer just died?
It'd be awful.
Dude, I'd be so sad. What else do we have for today, Mr. Kyril?
Okay. Um, Trump filed a lawsuit against Clinton.
Oh, yeah. What?
This is a spicy one. So Trump is accusing or trying, I don't know what he's doing. This is a lawsuit, so it's like civil,
Yeah.
but he's trying to invoke like RICO, which is used to take down criminal organizations with the idea that if one person commits a felony as part of a criminal racketeering,
Mm-hmm.
everybody is complicit in it. So you
Yeah.
only have to get one of them. Um, but it is clearly just like bullshit lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
In the run up to the 2016 presidential election, Hillary Clinton and her cohorts orchestrated an unthinkable plot. This is from the actual lawsuit.
Okay.
This isn't like a news article. This is the actual lawsuit they filed. One that shocks the conscience and is an affront to this nation's democracy. Acting in concert, which is the second time he said basically the same word. The defendants maliciously conspired to weave a false narrative that their Republican opponent Donald J. Trump was colluding with a hostile foreign sovereignty. The actions taken in furtherance of their scheme, falsifying evidence, deceiving law enforcement, and exploiting access to highly sensitive data sources are so outrageous, subversive, and incendiary that the events of Watergate pale in comparison.
I do not believe he wrote that.
No, he absolutely didn't. He paid a lawyer, former classmate of his, that was suspended from practicing law in 2009 after having been engaged in professional misconduct by the Florida Bar Association.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Rudy is no longer on his legal team?
Oh, God, no.
Oh, snap.
No, Trump's been churning through whatever dregs of lawyers still exist in the U.S. for the last couple of months.
Oh, that's so sad. Poor Rudy. Poor
Hmm.
Kraken lady, Sydney Powell. There we go. Um, who else was on there? Damn.
So what would be really good in this, though, um, person commenting on this law forum talking about this, saying that they're sure that this will get dismissed, but they wish that Hillary will use a few million of her "fuck you" money to go through the discovery process, just so they can get RNC, NRA, Roger Stone, Manafort emails and have them deposed as part of this, because that would be great. That was part of what happened with the Oh fuck, what was his name? The Lancet autism vaccines cause autism thing that got retracted. An investigative journalist was sued by them for investigating them, and he said, "Okay, sure. As part of this lawsuit, I'm going to need access to your original documents so that my lawyers can confirm that what you're saying is accurate." And he was able to get like their original studies unredacted.
Oof.
It was great. So this is the kind of thing that's why if you're filing a malicious lawsuit, maybe you don't want to because it can backfire pretty badly.
It's the old adage about don't throw stones if you live in a glass house.
Mm-hmm.
Woof. I'm excited for this one. Now, is he filing this with the state of California? And that's California, Florida?
I don't know. I would assume New York.
Hmm.
No,
Okay.
this is in Florida.
Oh, shit.
Because of course, why not?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're going to want to stay out of those New York courts, especially right now.
Mm-hmm. That whole thing is particularly frustrating. The current attorney general, is it attorney general? Whoever the equivalent is of the city of New York has basically stopped action into the Trump investigation there for reasons unbeknownst to basically everyone. But two of the leading prosecutors for the city of New York
Hmm.
have resigned in protest because they want to continue to prosecute it and they're not being allowed to.
That seems totally, what's the
Yeah,
word I'm looking for? Legit.
there's nothing wrong going on there.
Yeah, there's no conflict of interest potentially going on here.
In some Supreme Court news now,
Oh,
we
yes.
actually got a ruling on the Navy SEALs that were refusing to get the COVID vaccination.
Hmm.
Um, they have ruled 6-3 against the SEALs. So the SEALs will have to get the vaccine or stop being SEALs.
Mm.
Basically saying that president is still the commander in chief and can decide what the military can and can't do. And if the master in chief says it, the commander in chief says it. It's not Halo. Biden is not a Spartan. Yeah, who would have guessed? It seemed really obvious from the start. Um, they filed these charges that got it escalated up to the Supreme Court in like the most far conservative leaning circuit court that exists.
Of
So it was
course.
like clearly just like bullshit of just like, yeah, come on, let's get this over with. So it's over with now. And what do you know? The obvious decision was found.
No.
Mhm.
It's almost like when you sign up for the military, you're really waiving a lot of your rights as a soldier.
Yep. That's about all I have for like real news. But we do have some movie stuff.
Movie stuff. Hit me.
Movie stuff. Big one is Morbius.
Yeah. Um, I have no confidence in that movie, and I was kind of hoping it would
Yeah,
be good.
me neither. I I don't want it to do badly, but I wish Sony would just stop. Sony needs to stop.
So there was like a Matt Smith interview where Matt Smith basically said, "I have no idea what's going on with this movie."
That's a
Uh,
good sign.
yeah, here it is. It's from Screen Rant. This is not the original one that I saw, but here is a link to this article, and it's literally entitled um, Matt Smith is confused by his Mobius villain character.
He's the villain?
Yep, I think so. I don't know. And neither
I
does
guess
he.
that's kind of a bad sign.
Yeah. Um, a bit confusing is his own words. Where is it? He has like this really good quote in here about like keeping the script on him and just
Hmm.
playing to it because he didn't fully understood it and just kind of hoped that everything would work out. Um, Okay, here it is. The truth is, I wasn't aware of the great big history of the character in my many respects, because the script I was presented with doesn't really delve into the past of him, or indeed the future. And it isn't somebody else playing him. It's all a bit confusing to me. To be honest with you, I took it as my Bible, just the actual script. It's the honest truth of it. And it was just all of a bit odd whether it was Leroy's crown or not. I'm not quite sure, to be honest. I'm assuming Leroy's crown is the character he's playing.
Yeah. Someone else is playing. What? Not in the. Is there somebody else in like the Venom movies or something where this character was?
I don't know because I didn't remember the name anywhere.
I'm gonna look it up. Like who are you? I don't know.
Well, he was with Doctor Who at one point.
Uh, that's not particularly helpful. Apparently, also known as Hunger.
Okay,
Uh, I don't know if that helps.
we are really scraping the bottom of the Marvel barrel, dude.
Yeah, I kind of realized that looking at some recent reviews and stuff, just sort of talking about the current state of the DC film universe versus the Marvel one,
Mm-hmm.
where DC kind of has the Justice League that is a lot of characters in their own right that are more well known,
Yes.
where Marvel really has a lot of these lesser known characters. Like it's like Spider-Man. They have Spider-Man. All of the rest of them are kind of not nearly on the same level.
No, it used to be back in the day we would call like multiple tiers of characters by their noteworthiness. Like you had
Hmm.
your AT characters like Hulk, Wolverine, Thor, Captain America, Iron Man. No, Iron Man was more B tier back in those days before the
Yeah.
movie. Um, and then you had the B tier, which was like Iron Man, Venom, depending on the day, uh, Nick Fury, those kind of stuff. And then you had like C tier, which is like Doctor Strange, Iron Fist, Daredevil, blah 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 blah. But we always said there was S tier. S tier stood for Spider Man.
Yep.
Yep.
I like Superman too.
Yeah. But this was like Marvel, not like
But for Marvel, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, like for but the DC side of it, you have Wonder Woman, you have uh Superman, and you have Batman that are just like kind of their big three
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah. I believe that's now the big four with them because they consider Harley Quinn as a pillar of the popularity now, which makes sense. Margot Robbie did a really good job bringing that character more justice. I think we lost him, ladies and gentlemen. Hello? Yeah, he's gone. He's dead. Okay. Time for me to hijack this podcast and get to the real meat of what everybody wants to talk about. One Piece chapter 1044. Um, Personally, I am a big fan of this plot twist that we had in this chapter. Echiya Oda can do no wrong in my eyes. I know it's very contentious to many people about what happened in this chapter, but I stand by it. I think it was very fun, especially since there's now been multiple hints found throughout the whole canon of One Piece leading up to this. And, oh, his internet cut out, ladies and gentlemen. Nonetheless, um, the fact that our main protagonist was led astray all this time, and now we just figured out what exactly is going on with his fruit. Very great. And I'm keeping this as vague as possible because I understand most of our viewers are not One Piece nerds like me, and I think it's kind of funny to keep everything as vague as possible. And my phone just went off. Let's see what I got. Oh, what's this? Oh, my girlfriend says good, everybody. Also, somebody liked a tweet of mine on Twitter, which doesn't happen often. What did they like my tweet from? Let's see here. Oh, this classic. I want to make a TV show that is a vague sequel reboot to like 5 different nostalgic 90s shows, but never fully disclose which show it's a reboot of, and watch as the viewers eat themselves trying to figure out what to be nostalgic over. Network execs, you have your people call mine. That's a classic tweet. Follow me on Twitter at InfamousOrion. Very good stuff. Back to the One Piece podcast. It really is like the first time since like chapter 1000 that I felt much hype for a chapter. Granted, the big plot cliffhanger at the end of chapter 1043 was very much what led to this hype. Chapter 1000 was hype because, well, it was chapter 1000. Right now, we're just kind of at this point where we left the hero melting, and it's like, what the hell is going on here with the melting? And now that we see the fire and his hair, it's kind of cool. And overall, I'm very excited for the future of One Piece. It's going to be just uphill from here. And he decides to leave immediately after I say that. Are you there, Kyril?
I think so.
Okay, cool. You've been missing
There
a
we go.
great discussion of the One Piece podcast.
Oh no. Big Marvel tried to take me out.
Big Marvel, the mouse, took you down.
I tried to explain one of their characters.
Which character?
Well, I just started to read the biography for this Crown guy,
Okay.
and my internet cut out.
That was probably
I'm on my
Sony.
phone's hotspot right now.
Oh, no. I think
So
it was
we'll see how
Sony.
this goes.
Yeah. So, what were you going to say about Crown?
Okay.
Yes.
He's a bad guy.
He bad guy.
Crown abducted Morbius to perform experiments. He also tried to take Icon and fellow ESU students Peter Parker and Abby Levin. With a group of Hydra stormtroopers, Crown threatened to kill Parker unless Icon came with him. He teleported Parker and his friends to his secret. He's a Hydra guy.
Mm.
Hammerhead killed his love, so Crown took a Hydra airship to his apartment building to get revenge on the gangsters. He took Shock, and God, this is just like reading fucking Hebrew. What the hell? He killed Hammerhead.
Okay.
He apparently made himself a vampire like Morbius, and lives in the sewers.
Okay.
I think that seems like it.
Mm.
I don't know where else this guy would be in the Marvel story already. Who the hell else is playing him? Blade and Spider-Man tracked Hunger down to an abandoned Roxxon plant,
Roxanne.
killing vampire gangsters. Okay, cool.
Mm.
Very cool. He was transformed by Morbius into a living vampire, a pseudo-vampire. He does not possess all of the powers of a supernatural vampire, nor is he subject to all the traditional limitations and weaknesses thereof.
Okay.
He has genius level he's just like broken. Like, what the hell? Genius level interact, superhuman strength, speed, and durability, flight, hypnotism, accelerated healing factor, dark force manipulation, and a reliance on consuming human blood.
Oh, like a vampire.
Yeah. But he can have garlic bread.
Can he?
He can, yes.
Dude, that's overpowered.
Right?
You're telling me this man can go sit in an Olive Garden at like totally free to do whatever he wants, and he's just going to be a vampire the whole time?
He can attend a baptism at an Olive Garden. Even holy water doesn't hurt him.
Oh shit, dude. I'm jealous. Leroy, is it Leroy or Lucius?
I have no idea. It's like Loxias.
Okay. So
Which I have to
French.
imagine is like Loxius or
Loxius?
Loxius.
Loxius.
Something like that.
Too powerful. Please nerf.
Relatively new character, was first appeared in Spider-Man Volume 1, number 76, January 1997.
Oh, cool. So it was during the speculators boom. That explains a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, for those of you who aren't comic book nerds like me, the speculator boom was a time in comic history where a lot of people were buying comics when a new character showed up purely to have like the number one in case they ever got super popular. It was like NFTs almost, where people were just buying to own something, hoping it would go up in value much later down the road. Um, so comic publishers, realizing this, kept making a whole bunch of dumb characters just to sell number ones with them, and hoping speculators would buy them. All because that one issue of Action Comics where Superman showed up for the first time got really, really expensive to buy. Carol?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I thought I lost you.
Nope. Yeah, I. It seems like a bit of a an odd character to have as like a main villain, but
I mean,
I don't know.
yeah, these Sony movies have not had good villain choices.
Yeah.
And it's mainly because they keep using the villains as the main characters.
What do you mean you don't like budget Elon Musk?
No, I just wanted someone that wasn't a gray shade of Venom.
Lucky for you, you got Red Venom.
Red Venom, that's what I'm talking about. God. Can't wait for Venom 3, where it's very obviously going to be slightly less red Venom.
Yeah. What else do we have? Morbius seems like the big thing coming out this week, which is kind of disappointing. um, Chris Pine has a movie where he's still generic military guy.
Mm, glad to see he's breaking that typecast.
Mm-hmm. Daniel Radcliffe has a movie out right now.
Apparently,
The Lost City.
a lot of people really want him to be Wolverine.
Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah.
No. Well, anybody who's not um shit.
Jackman.
I'm blanking. Yes, thank you. Is gonna be like met with skepticism. I did see I was watching Cosmo Variety Hour,
Mm-hmm.
his X-Men review.
Yeah.
And I think there could be an appreciation if Marvel decided to go this way of less Hugh Jackman Wolverine and more like in the comics Wolverine, where he's kind of short and angry.
Yeah.
Radcliffe could do that.
I think so. He's actually like Wolverine's exact height, apparently.
Yeah.
How old is he? I know, not old. Tall. 5'5".
Oh, is
What's up?
that's why. So, The Lost City. Reclusive author Loretta Sage writes about exotic places in her popular adventure novels that feature a handsome cover model named Alan. While on tour promoting her new book with Alan, Loretta gets kidnapped by an eccentric billionaire who hopes she can lead him to an ancient city's lost treasure from her latest story. Determined to prove he can be a hero in real life and not just on the pages of her books, Alan sets off to rescue her.
Okay.
Or I guess antagonist, not really villain.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I gotta say.
Brad Pitt's also there
Oh.
as an uncredited person.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Reviews seem to say it's fine.
It sounds perfectly fine.
What's going on with Rotten Tomatoes?
What do you mean?
Their website's just acting really dumb. Usually on the main page, you scroll down and you can see reviews for it.
Mm-hmm.
It says there are no critic reviews for it, but that's bullshit. There's 143 of them, and if I go to the reviews page, I can see the critic reviews.
Oof. Caught you on 4K.
So yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. But 76% for an action comedy, it's fine. I'd imagine it probably hinges on how much you can tolerate Channing Tatum.
Oh, he's in the movie too.
Yeah, he's like the Channing Tatum character,
Magic Mike, got it.
cover model who wants to go and be a real boy.
I love it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Aren't the Oscars soon?
I don't know. Uh oh yeah, they're today.
Oh shit. Okay.
Let's check out these nominees. Just get like the Oscars website. God, Google is getting really bad for that. Like if you look up Oscars 2022, you have to go through Google's own stuff. You have to go through top pages. You have to go through questions people are asking. You have to go through four context articles, and then you have to go through videos before you just get to the Oscars.org fucking website.
Nice.
Why is that not the first thing?
Because everybody assumes you already know who the Oscars are going to.
Apparently. So actor in a leading role. I'm trying to see if I don't think I oh no, I have seen one of these. I wouldn't have guessed that, but I think that's fine.
Is it Spider Man?
No.
Come
No, that
on.
would be for next year.
Oh.
I think they have the cutoff like most of them do with like November-ish. But we have actor in a leading role, Javier Bardem, being the Ricardos, Benedict Cumberbatch, The Power of the Dog, Andrew Garfield, Tick Tick Boom, Will Smith, King Richard, Denzel Washington, The Tragedy of Macbeth.
I'm giving this. This is hard because I think three of them deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Andrew Garfield's good, but I don't think his Tick Tick Boom deserved it. Tick Tick Boom is kind of meh for me, but I do think he does eventually deserve this Oscar. Will Smith as King Richard in King Richard, that just seems like Oscar bait all around. So I'm kind of leaning
Yep.
it towards him.
That's the only one of these that I've seen.
Yeah, I
And he did very good in terms of him, like, because a lot of Will Smith's acting is just Will Smith being Will Smith,
yeah.
you know. And he did not do that. He actually did a very good job of portraying Richard from the actual person, because there's a lot of footage that we have of him from when he was in the news
Hmm.
when Serena was coming up in the tennis world.
Hmm.
So in terms of being a portrayal of the character, he was very good. Now, if it was like worthy of an Oscar, but it's also been kind of a slow year.
Best Picture.
Best picture. Let me skim down because this is not.
Uh,
This is in alphabetical order. Thank you, Oscars.
oh, there's Best Actress as well. My list may be a little different than yours.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can find a more curated list because it's kind of useless.
Wow, I've seen 2 out of the 5 best animated feature noms. Um,
I have seen none of them.
really?
Yeah, I haven't seen any of those.
Oh wow. Okay. I guess we'll do best actress next.
Yeah, actress in a leading role, and then we go into the supporting ones.
Yeah. Um, Jessica Chastain, Olivia
Hmm?
Colman. Oh, I'm sorry. Jessica Chastain in The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Olivia Colman in The Lost Daughter, Kristen Stewart in Spencer, Nicole Kidman being the Ricardos, and Penelope Cruz in Madres Parleas. I believe that's how it's pronounced.
Parallel Mothers,
Ah.
foreign language, I guess.
Mm, I don't know who to give it to. What a weird bounce back for Christian Stewart and Robert Pattinson.
Right? They've been doing really well. I wanted to see Spencer. I
Mm,
just never did. That's the Princess Diana biopic.
okay.
And it seemed like she did good in it. From the trailers, she was acting her ass off. Did a really good job in the trailers, at least.
Hmm.
But I never got around to actually seeing it.
I haven't seen any of their movies, so I'm just gonna have to go with your word on it.
Actor in a supporting role. We had Ciaran Hinds, Belfast, Troy Kutzer, Coda, Jesse Plemons, The Power of the Dog, J.K. Simmons, Being the Ricardos, and Cody Smith McPhee in The Power of the Dog.
I'm sorry, but I gotta
What
give it to
is
J.K.
what is The Power of the Dog? It's like 3 nominations in 2 categories. I've not heard of it. Oh, this is the fucking Western one.
Mm.
That looked terrible.
Well, apparently
I
it's
guess it
not.
did well.
Yeah.
It looked so bad in the trailers.
Well, it was either this or Eternals, dude. You had to choose.
I guess. I was just like completely like you couldn't tell what the hell it was. It seemed really aimless in how they're presenting it. All right, actress in supporting role. Jessie Buckley, the lost daughter, Ariana DeBose. DeBose, West Side Story. Judi Dench, Belfast, Kirsten Dunst, Power of the Dog, Anjanou Ellis, King Richard.
um, Ariana DeBoss deserves it.
Yeah,
What her performance in West Side is so good.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. I
Really
really
good.
recommend the new West Side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's in here?
And you've seen these, I guess, animated feature film.
Yes. Okay. One second. I'm pulling up that part. So we have Kanto by Disney, Luca by Pixar, Flea by Independent. It looks like I don't know who's the studio. The Mitchells versus the Machines by Sony, and Raya and the Last Dragon by Disney. It's not even fair to have two Disney movies on here. Technically three,
Yeah.
but um, okay. I'm gonna be very blunt with you. Luca is really good. So is Encanto, and so is The
Mhm.
Mitchells versus the Machines. This is a very hard three-way tie. Um, the Mitchells versus the Machines was more experimental, I felt, and like it's by the same team from Spider-Verse, so
Mm. Yep.
I'm kind of already leaning towards there. But Luca was also very, very charming. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and Encanto was much better than I thought it would be.
Interesting.
It's very hard. I feel like it's going to go to Encanto because Lin Manuel Miranda syndrome. Um,
Probably, yeah. I could see that.
so if I had to like rate these, The Mitchells versus the Machines is a much funnier movie. Luca is a much more original movie, and Encanto is probably like the most solid family film for all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wanted to say Mitchell's versus the Machines, but any one of those three can win.
Mhm. Cinematography. I have Dune, Grieg Fraser, Nightmare Alley, Dan Laustsen, Power of the Dog, Ari Wegner, Tragedy of Macbeth, Bruno Del Bonal, and West Side Story, Janusz Kaminski.
I didn't realize how many movies I watched this year.
Mhm. I feel like that's probably going to go for Dune.
You think
For
so?
cinematography, yeah. I don't know if it necessarily deserves it, but it feels like the kind of thing that they kind of made to do that because like a lot of the acting is kind of mid, but they have these big desert scapes and alien buildings and shit, you know?
Yeah. So West Side, I think, has really good cinematography. I think it's very likely to also be up there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Nightmare Alley, I've also seen. I don't think we'll get that far. Um, Nightmare Alley is a weird movie because it doesn't do a lot of things like particularly well, but like as a package together, it is really really good.
Hmm.
Yeah. What's next on your list?
I love costume design,
Costume design. One second, I'm going to go
but
find that.
I'm probably gonna skip over it and go to directing.
I mean, let's go to directing.
Yeah, like costume, Cruella, Cyrano, Dune, Nightmare Alley, West Side Story. Eh, eh.
Maybe Nightmare Alley over West Side. That's all I say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Directing Belfast, Kenneth Branagh. Drive My Car, Ryusuke Hamaguchi. Licorice Pizza, Paul Thomas Anderson. The Power of the Dog, Jane Campion. West Side Story, Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, you can't do that. It's going to be Spielberg. He's got priority.
There are trying to skim here. Okay, they have Best Picture categorized under P for picture rather than B for best.
What the fuck? Okay,
uh, Best Picture, you want to go for it?
yeah. Nightmare Alley. Don't Look Up. Dune. Drive My Car. Belfast. Licorice Pizza. The Power of the Dog. West Side Story. King Richard, and Coda. What are your ideas for this? Because this can go a couple different ways.
A few of them. I don't know all of these, to be honest.
Yeah.
Let me pull up some links here. I guess the ones that I don't know probably don't have the name recognition to go for it. Some of these seem like foreign films.
I do like that there's more foreign films this year.
Yeah, it is nice.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to guess, it would probably be West Side Story or Dune.
Those are
Dune's the
Oscar
kind of
bait.
movie that I feel like any other year probably wouldn't do super well, but it's, still COVID, still kind of a weak year.
Mm-hmm. Um, as much as I would like Nightmare Alley to win because I like the idea of the movie, Spielberg is just this is Oscar bait all the way.
Yeah.
King
Spielberg's
Richard,
gonna Spielberg.
yeah,
Yeah, King Richard was good,
yeah.
but not Best Picture good.
It just
Best Picture
strikes.
nominee good, but not to win it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's not bad to be clear. It's just got issues with it that, like Dune didn't have.
Okay. What's next on your list, my dude?
I'm gonna skim back up here. Uh we can probably skip over some of the documentaries.
Yeah.
Editing.
Ooh, let's talk that.
Yeah, I have Don't Look Up, Hank Corwin, Dune, Joe Walker, King Richard, Pamela Martin, The Power of the Dog, Peter Shibaris, Tick Tick Boom, Myron Kirsten, and Andrew Weisblum.
Tick Tick Boom is the only one I've seen out of these, and I will stand by it.
I think that's probably fine. Dune does a lot right, but it's not because of its editing.
Hmm.
It's because it does the really good job of showing off these alien worlds that are very unlike what we know and presenting them in a way that is mostly understandable. But it's not because of its editing; it's the world building that does that.
Okay.
Uh, what else do we have? Music, original score.
Okay.
Don't Look Up, Nicole Brittle, Dune, Hans Zimmer, Encanto, Jermaine Franco, Parallel Mothers, Alberto Iglesias, and The Power of the Dog, Johnny Greenwood.
Probably Encanto. That's the only one I've
Probably.
seen. Yeah. It's the musical. It's got to have the best score.
We have original song. Be Alive from King Richard, Dos Oruguitas
Or
from
Hitos.
Encanto, Oritos. Okay. Down to Joy from Belfast, No Time to Die from No Time to Die, Somehow You Do from Four Good Days.
I'm
Probably
so
Encanto again.
yeah. I'm so shocked we don't talk about Bruno's not on here.
Uh, from
What?
Encanto. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, I guess I had to pick one, right?
Mm-hmm. To be fair, this is the song that feels more Oscar baity. We don't talk about Bruno. It's kind of like the let it go of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay. What else is next?
Short film,
Yeah.
sound. Nominees are Belfast, Dune, No Time to Die, Power of the Dog, and West Side Story.
Mm.
I could see Dune getting that one. Outside of like the soundscapes aspect of it was
Mhm.
very well done. They do a lot of audio work that's pretty intricate that helps sell the universe that they're setting up,
Mhm.
things that are unique to it. Like they have these like their version of helicopters
Mhm.
that use more like bug wings to move by vibrating really fast. And it's a really distinct and identifiable noise that they had to do for it. And the way that they have that interacting like in and around the environment was quite well done and cool to see.
Best visual effects, we have Dune,
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man, No Way Home,
Spider-Man. There you go.
Free Guy, No Time to Die, and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
I think it'd be funny if Free Guy won.
Wouldn't it be hilarious?
That'd be great.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be No Way Home because of like the anti-aging technology they used in the movie.
Yeah. It'll probably be No Way Home. I would prefer it to be Shang-Chi, I think, though.
Really?
Actually, no. I'll take that back. I actually just rewatched No Way Home last night. Now
Hmm.
that it's on available for streaming and stuff. And the CGI work that they do for Electro's like lightning stuff
Hmm.
is really fucking good.
You gotta remember that did redesign Electro, so compared to what we
I
had,
didn't catch it in the theater,
yo,
but they do this thing like when he moves with his lightning stuff
hmm,
where they have like his outline in the lightning.
really?
They do. It's really hard to see because it's so fast,
Hmm.
but I'll see if I can find a picture of it. It's really fucking cool.
Hmm. Okay, No Way Home it is.
Yeah.
Although Shang-Chi does deserve some recognition because like the visual effects are pretty good for the practical stuff they do.
Yeah. Would agree. I'm skimming Google Images right now if you want to go on to the next one.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the next one that particularly finds my interest. Best production design. Nightmare Alley, Dune, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, or West Side Story. Um, I really like the production design of the first third of Nightmare Alley, but I feel like West Side is going to win because of all those damn buildings during the Maria sequence.
Seems fair.
Okay, what else is up next? I think we're running out. At least of the stuff
It's
that's
gotta be
interesting.
close.
Yeah.
See if I can get this to work.
What is it?
I'm just pulling up No Way Home, and I'm
Oh.
gonna try and take some screenshots.
Do 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 do
Acting kind of weird though.
do do.
Because there's a couple of scenes, particularly around like the Empire State Building or the Statue of Liberty,
Mm-hmm.
where you have that really good contrast with the night sky.
Mm-hmm.
But I just gotta find it. Are there any other particular categories, or is that
Not
kind
that
of
I
it?
can see.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else you want to bring up today?
No, I think that's about all I have. Supreme Court nominee Katanji Brown Jackson. Let's go. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
excited for that. Hopefully that'll go through quick. There's no good reason it shouldn't, but that's not stopping GOP senators from being their shitty selves like always.
Can we talk about Ted Cruz?
Yeah, go for it.
Ted Cruz was at an airport and apparently he was not getting the best treatment of his life, and he used the very famous phrase, "Do you know who I am?" in the middle of this Montana airport. I do want to add, during this, Texas was going through a big thunderstorm, apparently. So, very fitting for Ted Cruz to not be in Texas during a moment like that. Very in
Mm-hmm.
his character.
Yep, very much so.
Yes. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that's all. So, in the meantime, remember, Ted Cruz is a blobfish of a human, and you need to straighten up, Teddy boy. And I'm the infamous Ryan, and I'm Schmo.
I'm Kyle, and I've been a schmo.
And this has been the Two Schmoes Show. Thank you, and have a good night.